Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2024 SowHope Gala. The theme of tonight's gala is Redefining Charity. So a couple of things before we kick off. Firstly, my name is Alan Salmon, and I'm a long-term supporter of SowHope since it started, I think, back in 2006. And for those of you who've been to these things before, you may have been amazed by my skills up here before, or not. So how many people are attending a SowHope Gala for the first time tonight? Excellent, good. Well, it's lovely to see you, thank you. I hope that you will all learn and hear some things tonight that impact you and move you, and that you think of SowHope as something that you would like to be involved with. So we have wine on the table, which we'd like you to start drinking fast, as soon as possible, before we ask you for money. And if you'd prefer a cocktail, there's a cash bar at the back of the room. You can also get free soft drinks back there as well. You'll also see photographs around the room, and those are photographs, many taken by Mary Brown, but there are other photographers' work there as well. And for a donation tonight of $250, you can take any unframed photograph, and for $500 you can take a framed photograph, and simply go up at the end of the evening and choose the one you want. And Deb, where is Deb? Where is Deb? Deb, there's Deb. Deb will help you. So Deb will be over there, I imagine. Yeah, Deb will be over there. So go and see Deb if there's a photo you would like to take. So we also have some SowHope branded merchandise, and one of the things for a small charity like this is getting our name out there, and anytime we can spread the name, it really helps. So if you'd like some branded merchandise and help us that way, that would be great. There is also a photo booth back there where you're welcome to go and have your photograph taken, and you may well end up on some of SowHope's social media, and who knows, that could be the start of something huge for your future. So I'd like, as usual, to thank our sponsors. The names of our corporate sponsors are up on the screen, as are our table sponsors. And we also have some tables sponsored in memory of loved ones, and those are, and all the other sponsors are listed in the program. So before we get to the dinner details, I'd like to just say something on a personal level. So earlier this year, I got to go on a SowHope trip, visiting partners in Kenya and Ethiopia, and I'd like to share some of my experience there, which I think kind of encapsulates the power of SowHope and why I feel as strongly about it as I do, and why I have and will continue to support the work that it does. We were in Kenya, and we visited a microfinance project. And this microfinance project kicked off with a few $100s, maybe as much as 500, maybe less. But it consisted of a group of 30 women, and each of the 30 women in the group had the opportunity to borrow money from that investment by SowHope to go out and start a project of their own. And it might have been breeding chickens to sell for meat and to sell the eggs. It might have been goats to breed and sell the goats. It might have been a vegetable project. And anyone who borrowed money had to pay it back with interest after 3 months. And then once the fund has doubled, so let's say they got $500, by the time they got with interest to $1,000, they took the original $500 and they gave it and started another women's group. So now you've got another 30 women. And to put it into context, the money that these women can earn from these projects is way more money than they could ever hope to earn without some help like this. And it not only changes the life of that woman, it changes the life of the whole family, because now she can feed her family, she can pay for her children to go to school, she can pay to fix up her house. So for $500, the power of that and the fact that it gets multiplied, because it's not just helping 30 women, it's helping another 30 women and another 30 women. And every time you do that, you change the life of 30 families. And that is powerful to see. And I don't like to describe SowHope as a charity, because we were in a town in northern Kenya where Big Charity did some work, and as soon as we got there, the car was surrounded by people begging us for money. And yet everywhere we went where Big Charity wasn't, which is where SowHope usually is, nobody begged us for anything. So SowHope gives people opportunity. It isn't charity. It gives people opportunity that helps them change their lives. And for me, that's what connects for me, and that's what makes this thing so powerful. So anyway, we're going to have dinner, and the program will start at 7:30. And everyone can go up and get their dinner when the table number appears on screen. Please use both sides of both tables and help yourself. And once everyone has been through, please feel free to help yourself to more if you would like it. And again, thank you all for coming, and enjoy your dinner, and I hope you enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Good evening. Hello. If you can hear me, say, SowHope. Okay, thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to welcome each and everyone tonight. And I also want to say thank you to Mary for creating this space for all of us to be here. How was the meal tonight? As Alan said, after you eat now, we ask you for money, right? Nothing is free. Yes, so my name is Fridah Kanini, and I'm one of the board of directors of SowHope. And on behalf of SowHope, I'm truly privileged to welcome you guys here tonight. I know there's also members of our team and also sponsors and other people who support SowHope that are watching tonight from different parts of the world and also in the US. We want to welcome you guys. I hope you could be here with us to enjoy the wonderful meal that we had tonight. But of course, as we go into tonight's message, we want to remember redefining sowing hope and redefining charity. Mary will be coming up on stage to share that more in depth. But tonight really is all about understanding what it means to give back to the community and to do it in the way that SowHope is doing. So again, tonight's theme has already been shared. It's redefining charity. Let's all say redefining charity. Yes, tonight you will hear SowHope is how we are doing in the community, and what we believe in is a better way of sowing hope. You will hear how partners are doing amazing work, positive things that are changing so many women's lives around the world. Charity has totally evolved. Even just alone being able to do charity over the internet is a new thing, but tonight we'll go into depth of really what it looks like. Many people have understood sometimes charity is giving money and doing handouts, but one of the most proudest moments for me, SowHope is about empowerment, making people feel they can do things on their own after a little help. And one of the great things also is we are going to hear about SowHope and how we make impact and how you can also be part of the impact. First, I want to be very, very grateful for my members of the team that are here and also my friends from Africa and all over the world that are representing tonight. Let's scream hard if you know you are here from one of my connections. Yeah! Yes, another way that I understand sowing hope and charity and how we can refine is bringing our friends to giving back and being a part of such a great evening. I'll be sharing later how I became part of SowHope and why I've been coming ever since 2015. For those people who are here tonight for the very first time, I know this is the beginning of so many days and nights that you'll come to celebrate and talk about the great work we are doing at SowHope. SowHope was started in 2006. Of course, to sow hope into the lives of despairing women around the world who have lived below $2 in their day-to-day life. So many of us may not understand in this room what it is like to not have hope. And you cannot really take it for granted that hope can be really rare for some of the people in the communities that we serve and around the world. But here at SowHope, we have learned and we are so privileged to be able to restore that hope for them and sow it back and make them know that they are not alone and we can be alongside them as we are going to make sure they find what they need to be empowered. Our mission at SowHope is to inspire women around the world by promoting wellness, education, and economic opportunities. Imagine the challenges and risk it takes to help women who are living in despair and be able to live a self-sustaining life. That's why you all guys are here tonight, and we are going to be able to do that together and redefine charity and make sure that it's not about just giving them something in their hand, but giving them a future that has dignity and they can live a more fulfilling life. The unique strategy of SowHope is about partners who we work with, and local leaders who solve local problems using local solutions. So it's really about partnering with people that are already doing the job. So we don't go and take over, we go and partner. And those partners already have existing systems that they have built for their communities. And by being a partner to them, we are able to help the way they need to be helped. At SowHope, we witnessed so many of the world's greatest injustices and sadness, so we have made a celebration as one of our values. One of the biggest values of SowHope here is about celebration. This year, we are celebrating a wonderful milestone. We are celebrating 18 years of SowHope, so please let's clap for that. We have raised over $5 million to serve deserving women around 25 countries. This is really a wonderful milestone. And of course, we are not able to do it alone. We can only do it with each one of you guys. I hope that tonight you'll be able to be moved by what you have heard and about redefining charity, when you will be, and how you'll be supporting more wholesome from many ways that we've done it before, and to be able to make more impact for the women that we serve at SowHope. We are here to inspire them through wellness, education, and economic opportunities. Please be a part of redefining charity and be generous tonight. Before I invite Mary on stage, who is the woman who brought us all in this room and the one we love, I look up to Mary most of the time because she is my community mentor. I have my own organization that serves immigrants and refugees, and we make sure that we welcome them here. And Mary is one of my inspirations because I know she is resilient, she is brave, and she does really show you that you can't give up when you want to give up. For those of us who know, community work and serving is not easy. I joined SowHope because It wasn't planned. In 2015, I went to a dinner that I was invited by a dear sister from Senegal, Rokaya. I'm not sure if she's here tonight or she's watching online, but Rokaya and I met at a sewing class. I was truly very, very devastated and in a very hard situation after losing my mom in Africa. I'm an immigrant from Kenya originally, and it's not easy to move down here and be on your own. You're trying to support your family, and unfortunately, my mom got sick. She was a community social worker and a single mother who loved us so much, but she did give up everything for me to be in America so I could make it a better life for them. And of course, unfortunately, she got cancer, and in the process, I was still working on being able to get travel documents so I can go be with my family during that time. Unfortunately, it didn't work like that. I ended up losing her while I'm still waiting. I can remember how she used to say, "Don't mess up, just stay, just keep," because you're thinking, why am I here? What am I doing? But when I sat at that table in 2015 with my friend who encouraged me to go, I saw the women SowHope serves when they came on the screen through one of the videos. I remember very well a woman being supported in Uganda, and I really connected to that mission and vision. It was almost like a mix of feelings. Well, I wish my mom was there so she could become a partner. And then I also knew that it wasn't going to be possible because I had already lost her. I hadn't even been able to go home at that point to have a closure. It was all hanging over my head. But looking in the room, I just saw hope myself, and I felt like I can be a part of this great organization. And from that time, I became part of SowHope, and I know that this is a beautiful movement. It connected me to the message that I would have liked to continue for my mom. This is, to me, legacy. And you make this a legacy today in one way or another by sowing hope to one woman. So I hope that you all guys will find your connection to SowHope, and as hard as it might be, you might be able to just have this as your journey or your turning point to redefine charity. I want to call on stage this wonderful lady, Mary. Please let us all welcome her, our keynote, the co-founder and the president of SowHope, Mary Dailey Brown. Let's stand for her.
Thanks, dear. Hi, everybody. I'm not using this, right? Tony, I'll give this to you later. Thanks, everybody, for coming tonight. Did you enjoy the meal? Pinnacle Center, if you're listening, our compliments to the chef. The meat was unbelievable. Well, thanks, Alan, and thanks, Fridah, for the intros. Really appreciate that. And before I forget tonight, I want to recognize my staff and the volunteers who set all this up. So, Aaron, where are you? He's up there, running the whole show, like usual. Aaron is the program, the administrative director at SowHope. And we had two volunteer captains tonight, Priscilla and Beverly. Where are you guys? There's Priscilla and there's Beverly. They got you your name tags, decorated these tables, and got everything ready. And thanks to all the volunteers that are here. There's several that help set everything up. I also want to, this year, not forget to have the board members of SowHope stand up and be recognized, please. We have an amazing board at SowHope, and they do a great job of directing this organization. We also have some very special former board members, founding board members. And would you guys stand up, Bonnie and Craig, and Dr. Pam, Olga, would you stand up, and Jean, and Doreen. Doreen, would you stand up too, please? These people have been involved with SowHope since the very beginning, literally started the organization. They were part of the team that started. We had 9 founding board members, and 4 of them are here tonight. Well, tonight I want to inform you about our upcoming documentary called Charity Redefined. That title was the brainchild of our very beloved late board member, Professor Dan Balfour. When we were looking for a tagline for our new logo, Dan was on the team, and he came up with this actual phrase, "Charity Redefined," to be the tagline for SowHope. We didn't choose that one, but we went back to that list and we found it for the documentary and realized that it's a really powerful 2-word summary of what we're trying to say and what we're trying to do. So, in his honor tonight, his wife is here along with 2 tables of people that love him, and we're glad to have you here tonight. And we remember him with great fondness. We've been working on this documentary for over a year now, and it's coming together, albeit slowly. I'll be showing you some short clips tonight, some sneak peeks, to give you a little idea of what we're hoping to accomplish with it. We think it's important to share what we have learned through our organization, and we hope that it will inspire the nonprofit sector and donors like you to move in the direction that we've taken. Our philosophy of mission and strategy comes from years of experience, both here in the U.S. and in Africa and Asia. I have been involved with charity work since high school, when we were all required to go and volunteer a few hours a week. I went on to study photography in college and eventually worked as a professional photographer. But I continued to volunteer at charities and my church, and eventually I began working at nonprofits. I was the founding director of Love Inc. of Lake County in Illinois, helping connect the clients of local social agencies who were in need of practical help like plumbing or carpentry, connecting those people to skilled church volunteers. It was a wonderful collaboration, and many people were helped. At the same time, my husband and I were volunteering to lead church teams to Mexico to build houses every summer. We did this for many years and built about 25 houses. More importantly, we made many great friendships, both with the Mexicans and with the team members, which we still have today. Later, I worked at a church as the missions director and took teams all over the world. Altogether, I've taken over 150 teams to over 40 countries. I learned a lot about what makes a lasting effect on the places we visited, and it boils down to this: who is really in charge of what is going on? Whose idea is this charity work? Who owns the project? It didn't take too long to figure out that Westerners leading projects in foreign countries where they do not live for an extended period of time, or don't participate meaningfully in the culture, or don't speak the language, these did not have very sustainable or useful outcomes. A simple example is a well that I saw in Ethiopia. I think Ray was with me on that trip. Ray Snook. Where are you, Ray? Yeah, we were in Ethiopia together on a team of about 10 people, and we walked by this, what looked like a broken down well. After a few days, I asked one of the locals, what's going on with this well? Why don't you guys use this well? Why are you going down to the river? And I said, well, there was a guy here, he was in the Peace Corps for 2 years, and we liked this guy, and he decided that we needed a well. We needed fresh water. So he raised the money, and he built a well, and we all used it. But then he left after his 2 years were up, and pretty soon the handle broke off, and we didn't really have the parts to fix it. We didn't really know how to fix it. And we kind of like going down to the river because it's our social time. So we just go back down there now. And they said, his well broke. That's a very simple example, but I can tell you that millions, if not billions of dollars are lost on projects devised, implemented, and paid for by Western operatives. There is an old saying that goes, he who pays the piper calls the tune. In other words, the ones with the money make the decisions. They own the projects. It's very expensive to undertake a charitable project in a country that has little or no infrastructure, or doesn't have a thriving market, or has an unstable government, which is the case in most low-income countries. Another problem with foreign-led inventions is that the foreigners do not truly understand the needs or the solutions in unfamiliar cultures. People see others suffering and want to make a difference. So what is the solution? The solution lies in the local leaders who exist in every group. They are the ones who sacrificially serve their people. They're not always perfect, but they are the ones who work tirelessly and thanklessly, kind of like our volunteers here at SowHope. And they get things done, and they make things better. People follow them because they are servant leaders. They exist everywhere. In this room tonight, even. I guarantee you that if some catastrophe happened here tonight, though some local leader who understands this place and this area would rise up and direct the rest of us to safety, regardless of their own well-being. And we would all follow them. When we started SowHope, I knew that we would conduct ourselves in a way that is not the norm for a US-based multinational nonprofit. We would be paying the piper, but we would not be calling the tune. We were redefining the way to do charity. What is a definition of charity? What has it come to mean? Think about, what's a charity case? I want to ask you to raise your hands. How many of you think that charity can be negative? How many think it's positive? How many think it can be both? You're all right. According to Webster's Dictionary, charity has multiple definitions, including the act of being generous and helpful, especially towards those who are in need or are suffering, the act of giving aid to those in need, the act of being kind when judging others, a benevolent feeling, especially towards those who are in need or are in disfavor. It could be an institution that provides relief for the poor, kind of like SowHope. We're a charity. We're registered as a charitable organization under the U.S. tax code. Even the Bible describes charity as the highest form of love, uses the word agape to describe it in 1 Corinthians. Agape is the love that God has for people. It's a perfect love. I think we can all agree that helping to alleviate the suffering of the poor and needy is a good thing. So what has happened to the meaning of charity that we feel the need to redefine it? How can such a good thing not produce only good results? Charity around the world, by and large, is driven by people with resources who want to see changes. Many times they are people of action who have great concern for others that they have learned are suffering. They are taken in by the need and see the people as helpless, sometimes ignorant, about how to rise above their dilemma. So they begin earnestly to invest in making some change. Often it is to help the children, whose plight elicits a strong emotional reaction. They try to find someone locally who also seems to care, and they often pay that person to do the work that they feel so strongly about. Or they fund a big project, or a small project like the well in Ethiopia, only to find that the local people are not as committed to the project as they had hoped. When things get tough, they are told by the locals, "Thank you for trying, but your project just doesn't work here." It is very disheartening for someone like my good friend who started a hospital in Africa. It was built in an area where there was lots of poverty and instability and great need. After several years of supporting them with direction and financially, when he tried to move them towards self-sustainability, where they could run the hospital on their own, without his assistance, he met resistance, since they had become dependent on the income from the nonprofit. This led to infighting and jealousy among the staff. Eventually, it became necessary to abandon the project, and it was heartbreaking. I read this meme recently, and it made me think. I'm not sure it's true, but you can think about it yourself. Give one time, and you elicit appreciation. Give twice, and you create anticipation. Give 3 times, and you create expectation. Give 4 times, and it becomes entitlement. Give 5 times, and you establish dependency. And that is where charity needs to be redefined. I teach an international nonprofit course at Grand Valley State University. That's where I met Dan Balfour and Aaron and half of our board. Anyway, I teach there, and one of the books, I teach a class on international nonprofits. And one of the books we use is written by Dambisa Moyo, an African economist with a PhD from Oxford. In her book, Dead Aid, she writes about how charity to her native Africa has gone awry. The reality is, she says, that aid, charity, has helped make the poor poorer and growth slower. Aid has been and continues to be an unmitigated political, economic, and humanitarian disaster for most parts of the developing world. Her solution: get rid of aid. Promote entrepreneurship and free trade. Invest in infrastructure and community development. Give loans, not grants. Charity Redefined at SowHope. So what do we do differently, and how has that worked for the past 18 years for us? Our strategy is summed up like this. We partner with local leaders, solving local problems, using local solutions. Our method is based on relationships of trust. People that we trust tell us about people they know who they think could be a potential SowHope partner. We go visit every potential partner to see what kind of leader they are. We walk with them and see how they interact with the people they say they are leading. It's not hard to tell if a person has influence, or how they treat people, or how people respond to their leadership. You don't have to know the language. You just watch. Are they doing something to change lives? We can tell in a few days if they are someone we want to partner with. We never suggest anything or any amount of resources to them. At first, it was a struggle not to suggest ideas to local leaders. But the minute we start giving advice, it becomes our idea and our responsibility. And we want it to be their idea, so they own it. We acknowledge the good work they're doing and then ask them what their dreams are and what they would do with more resources. If a person is a leader with a vision, they almost always have an answer to those questions. And they answer appropriately within their capacity, within the ability they have to do what they're asking for. People don't usually ask for more than they can do. We invite them to fill out an application for a grant to do a project that fulfills their dream. Once that project is done, we go back to visit them and encourage them and ask them what they want to do next. Usually they have a little bigger project because we've built their capacity. I'll give you an example of one of our partners, Sarah from Nigeria. She's a great example of this. I met her in 2007. Sarah was an educated person. She worked for the government as an agriculturalist. She worked in 5 states of Nigeria, traveling around to the rural areas, training people in agriculture. But when she come home from work, she lived in a very, very poor neighborhood. We had to walk almost a mile through muddy, well, I guess you could call it a road, no car could get past it, to get to her house. And she had built a little room off of her house, and she was teaching people every night. She would do 6-week classes. And she would charge people $1 to come to the class. 5 nights a week for 6 weeks. She would teach things like literacy, cooking, sewing. She had a computer with a generator. She would teach them how to do keyboarding. And then when they were done with the class, she would have a graduation ceremony. And she would give them a little graduation certificate. And people would take that certificate and they would get a job with it. And she really loved helping women. So I was very interested in her. And I asked her, Sarah, what are your dreams? What would you do if you had more resources? And she immediately said, oh, I would buy a knitting machine. Really? How much is that? $400. Why? Because knitting is the most profitable thing I can teach a woman. I said, oh, you know what? We're going to give you the $400. how many women do you think you could teach in a year? I think I could teach 8. I said, okay, you take this $400, buy that knitting machine. Let's see how it works. Went back to visit her a little over a year later. We asked her, we went to see how she was doing, and she was so excited. She said, you're not going to believe this. About the third person I taught was better than me. And together, the two of us taught 22 women how to knit this year. I said, wow, that's really great. I said, what do you want to do now, Sarah? What's your dream now? She said, now I want to build a small building and put 10 sewing machines in it and start a seamstress school. Okay, what would that cost? $5,000. Oh, how many women do you think you can help in a year? I think I can help 100. I said, okay, let's do that. So you see how her capacity grew. She gained confidence from that first project. She launched out to do more. After that was a big success, she started to ask me, we built a relationship with her, and she was still traveling around these rural areas, which is the poorest areas of the world, by the way. Rural areas are where the poorest people live. And she asked me that she told me that she could identify leaders in those small rural areas. And she said, if you give me money, I will help them run their own projects. We said, man, you'd do that. We can't really afford to, we don't pay people salaries. But she said she would volunteer to do it, and she would do it as part of her work. So she started to identify leaders, and eventually she identified 30 leaders. And we were giving her up to $30,000 a year to help fund these different projects and different people. And she was volunteering to do all, she did finally retire. When she started to manage these other projects, she was had the time to go and encourage people and help them and help them do their projects. Unfortunately, Sarah died this past August, suddenly. It was a great loss for us. It was a great loss for Nigeria. Dr. Pam, who travels with me quite a bit, founding board member, and Dr. Sylvia Juta, our new program director, and I are going to go there in 2 weeks to meet with several of those leaders. First of all, to mourn with them the loss of our beloved Sarah, and then to see if they have a way forward. True to our strategy, we will listen. We will not tell them or even give advice on how to solve this problem. If a leader or a group of leaders rises up, or if they come up with some local solution that we wouldn't think of because we're not living in that context, if everyone's in favor or most people are in favor of it, we will join them in whatever work they want to continue. But the solution must come from them. They have to own it. If we solve that problem, it becomes our responsibility. And since we don't live there, we don't want to take that on. We want to partner with them to complete a mutually agreed upon mission. And this partnership is real because we can't do anything without our partners. And what we help them do, they could never do without us. They own the projects. They're part of our little contract. We don't really have contracts, but the part of our agreement, their part is to solve the problem using their local solutions. And this is where we differ from most organizations. Most organizations will tell you they partner with people overseas. But what they really do is they pay people overseas to do the work that they want done. We do not do that. We are redefining charity, and we are letting the local leaders tell us what the problems are and what the solutions are. And we are trusting them to do the work of making things better. Ownership carries authority and responsibility. It brings success and sustainability, which leads to self-confidence and greater capacity, which means they can do more and more, like Sarah. People in low-income countries are used to white people telling them what to do. Most of our partners initially try to figure out what we want to fund so they can know what to say to us. They can hardly believe that we really want them to mastermind the work. This produces one of the greatest attributes I have personally witnessed, and that is dignity. Our partners have dignity because they carry the weight of what they say they can do. They convince us of what they want to do, and then they do it. In our partnerships, the local leader has all the authority, all the responsibility, and gets all the credit for the work they do. Sometimes I get credit for the work they do, but I tell them, and I tell the people they're helping, they get the credit. This is their project. Matter of fact, a lot of organizations put up signs with their names on it. And we tell our partners, put your own name up on the project. Put your own sign up. You don't have to put our sign up. But many times they do because they're grateful for our partnership with them. But we tell them, this is your project. You put your sign up. We don't have to have our sign up. Sometimes they put it up. If they want to, that's fine. We don't ask them to. We don't want them to. Our part is encouraging them by funding time-limited, outcome-based projects that they submit, then visiting them and affirming their work. I cannot emphasize enough how important this strategy of trusting local leaders to solve their own problems and then verifying their work is to the success of the projects we fund. It's everything. We both have the same goal, and we both need each other to accomplish our goal. We pay the piper, but they call the tune. A few other points I want to make about how we do charity at SowHope. Rather than doing projects which give out handouts, we encourage our partners to submit sustainable development projects. We fund projects, for example, that help people overcome a debilitating illness so that they can survive, work, and support themselves. Or we fund a project where they gain practical and useful knowledge that can be used to earn their own income. Or a project which provide economic capital and business training, allowing people to sustain themselves, like what Alan described earlier when he gave the introduction. These kinds of projects meet real needs in a dignified way. They're sustainable. They can continue on without more support. They allow agency to those being helped. This is what we mean when we say charity redefined. I'm going to have a Q&A in a few minutes, so if you have any questions, you can think about them and you can ask them in a few minutes. Right now, I want to talk about our mission a little bit more. I know Fridah described it, but I just want to repeat it again. Our mission at SowHope is to inspire women around the world by promoting wellness, education, and economic opportunities. That is our overarching goal at SowHope. At SowHope, we believe that women in impoverished areas are key to turning a culture and economy around. So many organizations try to help kids, and that's not bad, but when you consider that helping a woman automatically means that her children will be helped, it becomes a matter of economic efficiency and effectiveness. As much as we might care about poor children in the world, I can assure you that no one cares more about them than their own mothers. And let me ask you this. How do you think women feel when people richer than them come in and begin to take over taking care of their children? Imagine if you were poor and somebody came in and said, hey, I can see you can't take care of your kids. Let me take care of them for you. How do you think that'd make you feel? Well, let me tell you, it makes them feel shame. We demean women when we take care of children, their children. We do them a great disservice. Empowering women doesn't just change the woman. It changes their children and their communities as well, because women reach out to their neighbors. As soon as they're taken care of, they begin to reach out to their neighbors. I've seen it over and over again. It is the most overlooked and underfunded approach to sustainable development that there is. Only 2% of all charitable dollars in the United States go to the 98% poorest people in the world. 2% goes out of our country. 98% of our charitable dollars stay right in our country. We're the richest country in the world, and we give 2% to people. We're 6% of the world's population, and the 89% that are really poor, I'll talk about that in a second, we give 2% of our charitable dollars. And that charitable dollars, I'm talking about our government aid, church money going overseas, foundation money, corporate donations, individual donations. 2% goes overseas. And of that 2% that goes overseas, guess how much gets to women? Anybody want to guess? 2%. 2% of the 2% goes to women. Now, just on an aside, I just read this week that if you earn $38.60 an hour or more, you are in the top 1% richest people in the world. If you make $80,000 a year, you're in the top 1% richest people in the world. If you earn $30 a day, that's $3.75 an hour, you're in the top 17% richest people in the world. That's 83% of the people make less than $30 a day and live on that. We don't really realize how rich we are. We're so rich compared to the rest of the world. Now I'm going to show you the sneak peeks. The first video is of Bangladesh, and it's just what we call B-roll. That's video talk. It's just the raw footage. There's no story to this yet. There's no music to it yet. It's just this is what we have to work with to make stories. So I'm going to build up a little bit here, but I'm going to show you. We were just in Bangladesh. Pam was with me, Dr. Pam, and by the way, I just want to say that Pam has made it possible for me whenever she travels with me, and we have long haul flights. She'll often upgrade me so I can lay down, which has preserved my life, I believe. Some of these flights are 36 hours, and so every once in a while I get to sleep on a plane, and got to thank my buddy Pam. So she's been a huge help and a great encouragement to me, great friend. We visited our partner in Bangladesh, Nelson. He does really great microfinance projects. I mean, really great. His projects are run so well, fair. They're so sustainable and perpetual. These are groups recently formed. We gave the seed money for it. They're building a bank, and this will just run off itself and keep adding more and more groups. We just give the initial amount. When he goes to a whole new area, sometimes he asks us to give the seed money so he can begin the bank there and start groups, hundreds of groups. One time during the 3-year project, when it came time to send the third and final installment, we were doing a $50,000 project, $20,000, $20,000, $10,000. When it came time to send the last installment of $10,000, I said, hey, it's time for the last installment. He said, Mary, we don't need it. We've done so well with the program that we've already reached all the goals of the project. Send the money to other poor women. We're doing fine. You'll see some of the things the women do, the farming, basket weaving, animals, and one woman who even opened a very successful pharmacy in their village and never had one, and she had the idea to do that. So let's show that video from Bangladesh. Like Nelson, he said microloans are very good for women. Looked, and I found many, many organizations not non-government organizations that would help children, but not one that was helping women.
উনি দেখছে অনেক সংস্থা
বাদবাকি খেলা আপনাদের দেশে যে এটা ই করে দেন তাহলে আমাদের
More assets.
they will have enough cows আপনারা গরু কিনছেন আর জমি দিবেন
Did she do all of this?
no this and another two
আর ওইদিকে বাদ করতে পারিনি
Can we go out? Can we go out?
এইটুকু আমার
Nia do hulu in rohoi kada nia ko do ar ante da ro khet minak talea nia ko
আরেকটু পিছনে যাও
Guys.
wow my goats it's a lamb small এক বছর পরে এক বছর কার নাম আপনার না
আমার নাম
chairperson of this group. So you would like to talk with her?
Yeah.
এই যে এগুলো বানাই আমরা
উপরে দেখাও ভাই আমার বুকটা ব্যথা করছে একটু প্রেশারটা মাপার করছে
Mayan, by the way, you have to be an extremely good dancer to be like working for SowHope too. That is one of the most humbling, humiliating parts of this whole job. They always want you to dance, and they always like to give you their clothes, and you just look, utterly ridiculous. But it's all good. They actually really get a good laugh out of that usually, so that's good. We want people to laugh. Now I'm going to show you, the next video is from Pakistan. And I really cannot emphasize enough how amazing our partners around the world are. Every one of them is just fantastic. Our partners are so smart, so compassionate, so strategic, so brave, so selfless. Most of them are highly and self-educated. Truly, I stand in awe of them. As Americans, we often correlate wealth to importance, but I can tell you that is a very big mistake. You can never underestimate the impact of a great and loving leader, no matter their personal wealth. Sister Zef from Pakistan is no exception. As a child, she was bullied in school for being a Christian. She went home and taught herself and her sister and a little friend. She took the state tests each year and eventually graduated from college. Along the way, she kept teaching more and more vulnerable children. She runs a very successful school that is free to very poor children. But that is not enough for Sister Zef, who also runs a women's vocational training program. That is what we support. But this video really shows what a tremendous person she is. Enjoy.
as human beings, it is our responsibility to be by their sides, to make them feel that they are not alone. And we can only do this when we make them empowered.
Yes to planet! Yes to planet! No to plastic! No to plastic! Yes to planet! Yes to planet!
Women need to be educated because most of the women are future mothers. For me, the women's work is the most important thing, because if you want your children to be educated, if you want them to be healthy, if you want to give them a better lifestyle, mothers should be financially empowered. And this is why I started giving them trainings like hairdressing, makeup, and fashion designing, stitching.
यही कि मैंने शुरू से मतलब यहीं पे सीखा, फिर यहीं पे जॉब करना शुरू हो गई, तो अब मतलब अच्छा लगता है खुद ही कमा के तो अपनी सारी ज़रूरतें पूरी करना।
मुझे अच्छा फील होता है कि मैं ज़ी फाउंडेशन में आई, इन्होंने मेरी हेल्प की, मुझे हुनर दिया, काम दिया, और मैं अपने पैरों पे खड़ी होकर अपने बच्चों को खुद पाल रही हूँ।
And then I met Mary Dailey Brown from the platform of SowHope. And now the change is bigger. Before we had place for 10 or 15 students. Now you will visit our vocational center and you will see that over 70 young women are completing their trainings from there. All those women who have now dreams, they are hopeful for their future, and they know that even if there is no one by their side, they are their own supporters. They are empowered by themselves. And just imagine how beautiful it is, and it is because of SowHope.
SowHope ने और ज़ी फाउंडेशन ने मेरे अंदर एक उम्मीद पैदा की है, और मेरी जैसी और बहुत सी लड़कियों के लिए जो मेरे साथ काम करती हैं, उनके लिए भी एक उम्मीद बना है।
So during all these years and after this work, I was able to give 100% free education to 3,000 children. And the way I kept my school sustainable, it was very much appreciated all over the world and recognized.
The winner of the 2023 Global Teacher Prize is Sister Zef from Pakistan.
So ultimately, I won the Global Teachers Prize out of 7,000 teachers from 130 countries.
Receiving this prestigious award is not just a personal achievement. It's a recognition of tireless efforts and dedication of countless teachers around the world who work to transform lives through education. It's a testament to the power of education, the power to change lives, communities, and the world for the better. I share this award with the students I have had the privilege of teaching and the communities I have the honor to serve. It's for the girls and boys who break all taboos, face challenges, dare to dream and learn despite the most difficult circumstances. Their resilience and determination are a constant source of inspiration for me. They prove that education is not just a right, but a beacon of hope.
Sister Zef, when I met her a few years ago, asked me to mentor her. She won $1 million. Self-educated. 3,000 students graduated from high school, many of them going on to college. She's just one of about, we've had 100 partners. And I'm telling you, I don't know if we just find the best people in the world, but I I am just stunned by our partners. I have a little bit of time for any questions. If anybody has a question, Tony, would you come and get this in case somebody has one? Oh, you got one, okay. Here, Craig, you want to take this one? Oh, you got one too? Oh, wow. Somebody's doing their job. Are there any questions? We just have maybe 5 minutes for question and answer, real quick. This is clear as mud, isn't it?
Can you give us some numbers? The whole scope?
The numbers of how many people have been helped at SowHope? Yes, there's some literature on the table over there. There's an annual report from last year that has all those numbers, which I have not memorized, but it's a lot. Like it's like almost 140,000 women have been in our projects over the years. And like Fridah said, 25 countries, and we've had about 100 different leaders that we've supported through the years. Yep, there's a hand back there.
How do you go about scouting for a new area or selecting a new partner?
Yeah, the way we find partners is that somebody we know and trust tells us about them. And the criteria is that they have to already be helping women. We don't want to help people that want to help women. We want to help people that are already helping women, usually sacrificially. So we go and find out. If they're helping, we tell we're traveling all around the world. I had a lot of friends, and I even lived myself overseas for 4 years in Europe, but have a network all around the world. And I put the word out that we started SowHope and that we would like to help women, impoverished women. So if you know anybody that's helping women, please tell us about this person. I'll go visit them. And immediately people started, go visit this doctor in Egypt, go visit this guy in Bangladesh, go visit this person in Kenya, go visit. And so I just started to go visit those people and would ask them to see, who do you help and what do you do? What do you do to help women? And they would take me to the groups that they were helping, and I would see what they were doing, like Sarah showed me. When I got to her house that day, she had like 20 people that had been her students. She had something like, over the years, something like 600 students. But she had a whole house full of people that were there telling me, yeah, she helped me learn this, she helped me learn, and they were very happy. And I said, yeah, this is somebody we want to help. That makes sense? Yep.
How do we see you using, or SowHope using, this new documentary?
Well, we're hoping that, we believe that our philosophy of allowing local people to come up with the ideas of how to help people and really just standing with them is a much better way to do development work. And so we're hoping this documentary will inspire other nonprofits to begin doing that. That's our hope, is that people will believe this and that they'll begin to trust the people that they give their money to. And it isn't that you just trust somebody blindly. You have to go, and the fact that our friend John tells us about Dr. Nargis knows John and knows that John told us about it. So when we go to visit, we say, hey, John sent us to meet you, and so we'd like to see what you're doing. And she knows that her friendship with John is also on the line, because John has given her the reference. So it isn't just us, that she has to answer to. She has to answer to John, too. And that creates like a greater responsibility. Yes?
Just a personal question. Do you have partners in Brazil?
Do we have?
Partners in Brazil, some organizations.
Oh, I want to go to Brazil. My son's from Brazil. I adopted an orphan from Brazil. But we literally have tried to target the lowest income countries. And believe it or not, South America isn't low enough, if you can believe that. But we eventually want to go to all the countries in the world. We wanted to start with the least developed, the least income, lowest income countries that we could get into. But I think we are open. We've served several countries in Asia and Africa, and I think we're ready to move into the poorest parts of some of the South American, Central American countries. We did some projects in Guatemala last year too. Yes?
This may be a 2 or 3 part question, but are these women-only villages you're going into? And you're empowering these women, what kind of support are they getting from the men? I don't see any men involved.
Yeah, there are a lot of men involved, actually. Some of our partners are men.
Men that belong to the women. Are there men totally out of the picture?
No, men are not totally out of the picture. If women are married, for example, when they start a business, their husbands work with them. When I'm in Bangladesh, it's really pretty funny when a lot of the women, Nelson starts with married women for the first projects he does, because he wants the husbands to co-sign the loans, because he doesn't want women whose husbands are going to steal the loans. So these men have to come and sign the loans too, co-sign the loans, and co-sign their properties to the woman. And he tells them, look, if something happens to you, we've invested in this person and your wife, and we don't want her to lose the project because you died. So you have to co-sign the property over to the wife, and you have to co-sign the loan, so if something happens to her, you have to pay it back too. So he does help the men in that community accept the microfinance. And of course, the men are thrilled, because now men for the most part, in the lowest income countries and the poorest places, they're not working. There's no work. And so you'll see them sitting around in the village centers, drinking tea, smoking hookahs, playing little board games. But if there's work, and they can get paid, they'll work. Women, on the other hand, have to work because they have to feed their kids. Whether they get paid or not, women have to work. So the men, as soon as there's money to be made, they're there. And they are proud of their wives. Many of them are very proud of their wives. And the way Nelson sets it up, he sets it up so that it becomes a family business. And then I asked him, I said, well, what about the widows? What about the poor women? He said, I can't start them off because culturally it wouldn't be acceptable. But the women who get wealthy will hire their neighbors. And he showed me that. A woman had bought 3 sewing machines, and she had her neighbors working in the sewing machines. So they do reach out to their poorer neighbors and help them. And I am out of time for the Q&A, unless there's one more really pressing question. Okay, we're going to finish up with one last video. Did you have one?
Yes,
oh, Doug.
Right here.
You don't know anything about SowHope?
Recognized too.
By the way, would you stand up, Doug?
Stand up.
This is my beautiful husband. He's co-founder of SowHope, and really the reason SowHope started, I was a chicken. I wasn't going to do it. No way was I going to do it. But he shamed me into it. And he financed the first couple of years by selling his inheritance. Okay, we're going to show the last video now, and it's of Burkina Faso. This last video will be part of the documentary about our project there. This one is the most edited. This is the closest to what it's probably going to look like in the documentary, what the stories will look like. I'm going to end my talk with this one. Before I show it, I just want to say thanks again for coming out tonight, and I hope to see you all at the premiere, hopefully in August. I'm sorry, in April. Hopefully it's not August. Hopefully in April. When the video ends, Alicia Maria from Chicago will come up and do a special song that she wrote. And then Mita Fitzjohn, our board chair, will have the final comments. So please, be generous to the deserving women of SowHope. And together, let's get charity redefined. Good night, and God bless you. Enjoy the video.
You know when you have a nightmare and you wake up? They have a nightmare, but they can't wake up. They can't wake up.
Obstetric fistula is a debilitating health problem
that occur when the woman suffers from obstructed labor. So what happens is the presenting part of the baby, which is usually the head, will produce a compression between the bladder and the pubic bone. So that will stop the blood supply to the bladder and then kill the tissue technically. So that will produce a hole.
So the urine will leak from the bladder into the vagina and then just comes out without any control. So you're leaking urine constantly.
It's called the disease of the poor and also the shameful disease, because when they get it, they can't get close, or people don't want to get close to them.
I'm kenning you pissy the Zakalai. Pissy da yopoya, I'm king at Nibale. I'm Pama, but I'm here to come permit Naya team.
When I am enjoying it, to call a prayer, after Selma, Katani, Kugan body.
There was no bed to be fair, obey Burla, won't be a Casaye. Alan Tache, Tinta Dominica Tuni, won't be a Casaye. Yaman Barabi, be a boomato. Lele yaman baagala yam kiimam go tonoma la koy kabe tumam yik dara yam le runa dara ya am nan ken ti kimya ti sebo tumam dik mwiri ne yibe o fagi dam saha ken ti nan du tanga nan luli ti ni kem zinbe ne nyanma ni kima bi ne yisaba men ngazama am ka no men ti yime na ka yi duniye baagala ti pam ti yime na ka yi duniye don zikanga a man fen kelan tal tin bala.
Coming here because Arena means Association Renaissance. Renaissance means rebirth. So it's like waking up from that nightmare, coming here and being treated.
When we prepare this woman to do surgery, we are thinking about all of this because we are like the only hope that she has to have another life.
When we first came to meet Dr. Itengre and saw his heart for helping women, we were really impressed with him. He has compassion. It's kind of an amazing thing. We realized you almost have to have like a calling to do this because it's not something that most people would want to do. Because for one thing, these people can't afford to pay for it. He'll never get rich as a doctor. The reward is really helping people.
To see his humility and to see his gifted hands to be able to do this and help these women, it's just, it's remarkable.
Nous avons constaté qu'il ne s'agit pas seulement de fermer la fistule, c'est vraiment plus que ça. Après leur guérison, ils sont traumatisés. Il faut échanger, éduquer sur la santé de la femme en général. Les responsabiliser aussi. Une fois de retour, qu'ils puissent s'occuper d'eux-mêmes. Leur formation, qui est en perlage et saponification. Et la formation aussi va les servir à générer des fonds pour s'occuper d'eux-mêmes et pouvoir participer au développement dans la communauté et même prendre en charge elle-même et ses enfants ou la famille.
Oh, nice facial.
Well, it was very important for Arena and for Burkina Faso to see this center opened. And this has been possible thanks to the support from the SowHope.
L'intervention de SowHope à Arena avec ces femmes, c'est de redonner l'espoir de vie. Les donner envie de vivre encore.
SowHope is the foundation. You know, I'm an architecture major. So building houses, you have to build the foundation. And SowHope is part of our foundation because SowHope helped finance this medical center. And by financing that, hundreds of women will be able to get treatment.
Faut qu'un de petits pas, faut y qu'un taquet vrogon yolo. Rene, c'est Mickey, yam king ballet.
Côté que avara, au tati, que tu as honné.
Peut-être badien ho metolma kan hanga.
Wẽnnaam sõnga me mam paama laafɩ mam sũur yaa no wʋg n kʋʋra wẽnnaam barka la n tɛl mam be me kẽna me sã n paam wikɛnd n yiita wa sẽn date sũur yaa noog n pʋʋra wẽnnaam bark wʋsgo a rena rãmb sẽn maan bũmb ninga n kõ maama pʋʋra madam wed raoogo neb zaka soaba ne arena rãmb gilli tɩ wẽna woglb yẽ wa baasb neere mam sũur yaa noog wʋsgo sɩsã yentane ala yo deme a bãana donc n sig ne be na dokʋʋr n kõn yaa jusu jala tanya jini chela banan no yala ko barka bu dote nu be fula na ta musu dote musu nu be mbo be fula kunu kon tanya ji chela banan no yala
How's everyone doing? Who's feeling inspired right now? I know I am. I'm holding back the tears. I'm so honored to be here. My name is Alicia Marie. Thank you so much to Mary, to Fridah, to the SowHope organization. There's really no coincidence that all of us are here tonight at the very same time in this room, listening about all the impact that this amazing organization is doing. And there's so much power to our yeses. So as soon as I had the opportunity to say yes, I drove from Chicago. I said, I'll be there to sing this song. It's called Strong and Beautiful. And it's about just having everything that you need inside. And the lyrics, after watching this video, I'm even more excited to sing the song. So it's called Strong and Beautiful. Sing it a cappella. That was it. That was it. I did tell my table 16 I'd give them a shout out over there. Too. You've been down, you've been torn, when you're hurt, when you're torn, when the rain turns to pour, and it pains to the core. No, sometimes feels like you're in the fight of your life. Feels like the ones you need ain't inside. Know everything that you need is inside. Look inside, 'cause you're strong and beautiful, all on your own. 'Cause you're strong and beautiful, all alone. No matter what's going on, just keep holding on. The tide's gonna turn in time. 'Cause you're strong and beautiful, all alone. When you fall in a storm, for you walk, no you crawl. When the rain turns to pause, and it pains to the core. No, sometimes feels like you're in the fight of your life. Feels like the ones you need ain't inside. Know everything that you need is inside. Look inside, 'cause you're strong all on your own. 'Cause you're strong and beautiful, all alone. No matter what's going on, just keep holding on. The tide's gonna turn in time. 'Cause you're strong and beautiful, all alone. Oh, we are strong, we are beautiful, yeah, yeah. Oh, we are strong, we are beautiful, strong and beautiful, yeah. Oh, we are strong and beautiful, yeah. Oh, we are strong and beautiful, yeah. Oh, we are strong and beautiful, beautiful, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, SowHope. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, I need a microphone. Hold on. Is this the microphone I should use? Okay, that sounds like that works. How about another round of applause for Alicia Marie? That was beautiful. And, all right, if I'm understanding correctly, Alicia, you wrote that yourself, is that correct? Excellent. It was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you for driving all the way here to get here to perform for us. So my name is Mita Fitzjohn, and I have the privilege and honor of serving on the SowHope board as chairperson of SowHope board. And it is also a privilege and honor to be with all of you this evening. You know, I got introduced to SowHope a few years ago at a gala just like this, and I heard Mary speak, and I learned about the mission of SowHope and the mission to inspire women around the world by promoting wellness, education, and economic opportunities. And it really struck home for me. So I was born in India, and I came to the United States when I was 2 years old. So even though I lived most of my life here in the States, I have gone back to India, and I have seen the type of devastating poverty that of the communities of the women that SowHope serves. I've seen what it looks like to have a young mother on the side of the road begging for change with her malnourished child in her hands while she too is malnourished. And as I reflected on some of the things that I've seen in person, and I learned about the work that SowHope does, again, it really struck home for me that not, as Mary described, this isn't a charity. This is redefining charity. To be able to make these women not accept some spare change, but to become independent and to have autonomy and to have that ownership of their lives. And it's interesting to see, if you noticed in the videos, just the pride on their faces as they demonstrated to Mary and the others the type of work that they had learned to do, because they weren't accepting charity. They were standing on their own. They were providing for themselves, providing for their children, providing for their families. And the more these women are empowered, not only do they grow as individuals along with their children and their families, their communities grow and their countries grow. And as in essence, the world grows as well. It is really amazing to see the impact that can be made when one single woman is helped, and then what she does then to help the others around her. One of the first things that we've learned is she sends her children to school. As a woman earns money, she sends her children to school, and education, as we saw from Sister Zeph's video, is one of the critical differentiators of being able to move out of poverty. And so it's just such an honor for me to be able to support this organization and to continue to support this organization. And I hope to be able to continue to do so for years to come as I see the good work that is being done and seeing charity be redefined. So I really hope that you will join us in supporting this organization with your generosity tonight. It's wonderful that you have given your time to be here and to listen to and watch the videos, to hear Mary speak and hear the others speak, hear myself speak, and we'd love to see your generosity through your donations as well. And so what I would love to do at this point is table hosts. So if you are a table host, please raise your hand. Where are my table hosts? First of all, round of applause for the table hosts for volunteering their time to be here. Table hosts, if you will please take the envelopes at your tables and go ahead and pass out the cards that are in the envelopes to your guests at your table. And guests, if you will, we should have pens at tables as well. And guests, if you could please take a look at your cards. First of all, if there's any information that's missing or information that needs to be updated, please go ahead and make that update or those changes. Now, there are a number of ways that you can donate your time and your money to SowHope. So first and foremost, you can make a one-time donation. You can also become a monthly donor. And our monthly donors are what we call our SowHope Stars, because our SowHope Stars essentially provide a consistent monthly donation that allows us to continue to redefine charity and support these women around the world. And you can also be a one-time donor. So here are the different ways that you can donate. So cash, we accept cash. You can put cash in the envelope. You can also write a check. If you would like to write a check, please make it out to SowHope, and you should see some information on the screen as well. And for those of you joining online, you can also send a check if you would like, and we've got an address for you to be able to send that in, which is also going to come up on the screen here. So if you would like to donate with a credit card, that too, we've got tons of options for you. You can choose your favorite option. So we will have someone here at our credit card table who will accept your donations and scan your card over at our table over here. We also have a QR code on the table, so you can just scan that QR code as well. If you'd like, you can fill out your credit card information on your card if you'd prefer and put that in an envelope. You can also text SowHope to 44321, another way to use your credit card to donate. And finally, you can go to SowHope.org to donate there as well with your credit card. Now, before you make your donations, I want to reiterate something that was said earlier this evening by Alan. So we have these gorgeous, beautiful photographs around the room. I've got two behind me here. And most of these, if not all of them, were taken by Mary and during her travels. And so if you donate $500 or more, then our gift to you is one of the framed photographs that you can go choose, and Deb will help you make your selection there. And Deb is over there waving her hand. Thank you, Deb. If you donate between $250 and $500, you can take one of the unframed photos as your gift. So please consider that. Again, beautiful photographs that Mary has taken of the women that are served through SowHope. There are other ways for you to support SowHope as well. One of the ways to do that is to volunteer your time. Other than a couple of permanent staff members, including Mary and Aaron, SowHope is a volunteer-driven organization. And so we would love for you to volunteer your time. Please visit SowHope.org and fill out an application. I got a special request to ask. We do mailings. For those of you who have received mailings from SowHope know this, that we do mailings and we need hands. We need hands to help with those mailings. We do about 8 a year. So please consider coming in and helping put the mailings together. It's a really satisfying experience, by the way, to stuff envelopes. So truly it is. And so you can also, there are other roles for volunteering as well. In addition, please let us know if you'd like to receive our emails and our newsletters. You'll learn about the work that SowHope's doing. You'll also learn about the events that are coming up, including our documentary premiere, which will be in April of 2025. So you'll get an inside scoop as to where you'll be able to see that and experience that with us. In addition, we are also, for first-time donors, I know we've got several people who are here for the first time. Raise your hands again, please, if you're joining us for the first time. Thank you again for joining us for the first time. Those of you who are donating for the first time, or those of you who donated last year as well for the first time, we will have a new donor dinner. So mark your calendars for October 24th. We will be honoring our new donors on October 24th with a pretty fun themed dinner. You'll have to come to see what the fun theme is about there. Now, we also have a merchandise table. If you didn't notice, we've got some SowHope merch. So we'd love for you to spread the word. As was mentioned earlier, this is a small organization. We really need to get the word out. Buy the merch, wear the merch, get people to ask you what SowHope is, and share what SowHope is all about so that we can even have twice the crowd this time next year at our gala. So our merch is over there. There's merch that's available to take with you now, and we also have merchandise that you can order as well. All right, so thank you again all for joining us this evening. Thank you for our sponsors. A round of applause for our sponsors, please. I forgot to mention, please also follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Follow us, share our posts. Again, spread the word. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Again, it has been lovely to have you here, lovely to see you all. And this concludes our event for the evening. We hope to see you next year. Bring some friends, bring your family. Thank you and very much appreciate from the bottom of our hearts your support of SowHope. Have a good night. God bless you all. Have a good evening, everyone. We now have someone at our table accepting credit card donations. So see Lauren over here at the credit card table, please. Thanks, everyone.
Woke up this morning, saw a world full of trouble now. I thought, how do we ever get so far down? And how's it ever gonna turn around? So I turned my eyes to heaven. I thought, God, why don't you do something? Well, I just couldn't bear the thought of people living in poverty, children sold into slavery. The thought disgusted me, so I shook my fist at heaven. God, why don't you do something? He said, I did. Yeah. I created you. If not us, then who? If not me and you. Right now. Well, it's time for us to do something. Us to do something. So tired of talking about how we are God's hands and feet, but it's easier to say than to be. Live like angels of apathy. We'll tell ourselves it's alright, somebody else will do something. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of life with no desire. I don't want to flame, I want to fire. I want to be the gonna change the world by standing still. No, we won't stand still. No, if not us, then who? If not me and you. Right now, it's time for us to do something. If not now, then when will we see an end of this pain? Well, it's not enough to do nothing.